Hi bestie, how is it going? How are you? Today we've got another DIY. Today we're attempting to make some vellum cash envelopes for really cheap. And in today's video, we're going to be turning this to this. And this is a pretty serviceable envelope if I do not say so myself. This is a series where I try to save you as much money as possible. We're making cash envelopes from scratch for cash budgeters. We've tried stuff from Amazon and we've tried stuff from Poundland. And today we are trying One Beyond. One Beyond is a smaller chain in the UK. I don't know if you have it elsewhere in Europe or America or whatever. I think it used to be called One Below, but I was shopping with my nephews and nieces recently and I came across that store and it had some cheap stuff in there. So I thought, why not check it out? We got a couple of bits and we're here to make a cash envelope today, but we're going to do a vellum one and we're going to try and do it on the cheap as well. So everything that you're going to see in today's video, excluding the laminator and a pen or whatever, cost me £3 in total. So if you'd like to know how to make roughly 10 cash envelopes for £3, stay tuned. So let's take a look at what we got from One Beyond. First of all, we got these laminating pouches, and this is a 10 pack of A4. It doesn't tell us on here what micron they are. So because of that, we're just gonna have to assume that they're 80. It seems really thin. So the ones we got from Poundland were £1.50. So this is even cheaper for 10. So let's take a look in here and sort of have a look at the feel of what we got. So again, they're not like sealed. Yeah, these are thin, very thin. Okay. All right, cool. So we've got this to work with. Oh, we've got a little bit of static, so not too bad. Now, the thing that's going to make these vellum cash envelopes is just a bit of a cheater's way to do it. So this is just A4 tracing paper here. So let's grab out one of these, and that looks just like vellum, bestie. It really does. So yeah, that's what we're going to use to make these into the vellum cash envelopes that we like to see. So that's cool. Now, in terms of a vinyl name or anything like that, I've got this. Now, this here is adhesive glitter paper, and I am nervous about putting this through my vinyl cutter. I've been nervous for stuff in the past, but because it's paper and not vinyl, I don't know what it's going to be like. So that's going to be one of the first things. Oh yeah, that's not going to go through. I can already tell you that it's not, but it's adhesive apparently. This is too thin to go through my vinyl machine. I'm not even going to risk it, but apparently it's adhesive. So, oh, it's super, okay, right here, see this? There's no way I'm putting that through my vinyl cutter. No way. Okay, right, we'll work with that. Let's go ahead and let's make a cash envelope, bestie. I started off with the tracing paper and I folded it in half, and that's because I know I wanted the vellum to be on both sides, so no matter which way you looked at it, you'd be able to sort of see the opaqueness of the sheet. And that also made it easier because we didn't need to cut out a window or anything like that. It was already a sort of pretty self-made window. So it's folded in half and I measured out the dimensions that I like for cash envelopes. So we do 17 centimeters by 9 centimeters. Those are the measurements that I like. Other shops do different sizes. I used a white pen for this because I felt like if I used any other color, it might bleed through and might show up a bit too much. So I use a white pen, but you don't really need, you could use a pencil and rub it out. It doesn't really matter. I cut it out using some scissors and then I made the envelope sandwich. So literally the envelope sandwich wasn't really anything. So I just put the sheet that I'd folded and cut out inside a laminating pouch. Now I needed to make sure that the fold was on the bottom, because if I cut through the fold, it probably wouldn't have made much difference if I'm honest, but it kind of makes the envelope a little bit stronger if your fold is at the bottom, because then there's no interruption to anything. No adhesive is going to get on any notes and stick it, if that makes sense. I chucked it through the laminator and as I expected, very quick. It surprises me every time, but what I got out the other end was really wobbly and really wonky, and we'll show you that at the end. It was quite alarming, to be honest, bestie. I cut it out using a guillotine. This is just so that I can get the dimensions that I want, but you could do this by scissors or freehand or with a craft knife, doesn't really matter. I then cut it out using my 6-hole punch. You can get these off AliExpress or whatever for like a £5. You get them off Amazon for a tenner, and if you're not going to put it in a cash binder, you don't actually need to do do this step at all. You can just cut out the dimensions that you want. I then had to think about how I wanted to use this sort of sticky paper stuff, and I decided to do something a bit nice because it was like diamondy. I ripped it out and then I spent a bit of time finessing it to make it look like quite cute, and then I used a Sharpie to write spending on the envelope. There was no way this was going to go through the vinyl cutter. I wasn't even going to attempt it. I could have like snapped a blade or something. There's just literally no point. And that is our Vellum cash envelope done. So when we take a look at this envelope, we can see that this is quite possibly the thinnest envelope I've ever made in my life. So I think if I had matte laminating pouches, they would potentially look better. But in terms of a vellum envelope, it doesn't look bad at all. So if I even get the receipt for this, like you can see everything that's inside. Like it's quite a nice envelope. You can sort of see, I don't know if you can see, but there's a lot of rippling. And that is because that these materials, like tracing paper, isn't necessarily intended to be laminated. So it just ripples and buckles. So it's sort of luck whether you get one without. But in terms of what is actually laminated, it is crystal clear. I do like that you can see all the way through it. So if we compare this against a standard cash envelope, that obviously there's a huge difference in the quality. This one's a lot more rigid, a lot more thick, but for a cheap one, this is not bad at all. So even if you spent a bit more time on the actual labeling of it, it's not bad. So the sort of like size is held up really nicely. Like it's not a bad representation of an envelope at all. And if you're into that vellum look and you want sort of crafty DIY, this is not bad at all. But it is extremely thin. It does not feel luxurious, Bestie. Not like these ones do, not at all. So this really holds up, I believe. This is like not a bad envelope if you are really into that look. So pulling up the receipt again, the craft paper, which was a bit of a flop if I'm honest, was £1. You didn't have to use that step. The laminating pack was £1 and the tracing paper was £1. So you got 10 sheets of tracing paper and you can get a cash envelope out of each one. In essence, for £3, you can get yourself 10 cash envelopes out of that. You could even split it down the middle and just have the vellum part at the front rather than at the back. 10 for £3 is not that bad at all. If you're not put off by thinner wobbly envelopes, because really doesn't matter when you're just going to put a load of cash in them anyway, if you're not put off by that, that's not bad at all. Now we're not factoring the cost of the Sharpie or the laminator because potentially you'd already have that already. But if you're looking for that, that's not bad at all. What did you think of this DIY today, Bestie? I really enjoyed it. It was nice spending time doing some vellum envelopes, and I see a higher quality vellum sort of envelope thing coming to my store very soon. What do you think, Bestie? Thank you so much for getting through to the end of the video. You know I love it when you get through to the end of the video. Please give this video some love. Make sure you like, comment, share and subscribe, and if you are going to comment, please use this emoji. So we've tried 3 different places making DIY cash envelopes at this point. I'd love to try more places. Please let me know in the comments down below where you'd like me to go. I've heard a lot of great things about the range, and obviously I go to the range a lot. So yeah, I know the range is going to be good. We're kind of going to get spoiled for choice, but I'm trying to make it as cost effective as possible. So £3, Bestie, that's a bargain. But where would you like me to go? Let me know in the comments down below. Have you considered becoming a channel member or a patron? Patrons get exclusive content, sneak peeks and significant discounts off my Etsy store. Channel members get early access to every single video. In fact, they've seen this video long before you have, Bestie. If you like the sound of those perks and you like the sound of me, have a look at the links in the description. You will not regret it, Bestie. That's all we have for today's DIY. But until the next video, Lord knows what that is, I would like you to have a wonderful day, have a wonderful week and have a wonderful budget. Always remember, don't trust Ira. And Bestie, I'm going to leave you with the I Tried playlist. This is the home of all of this sorts of things. All the hauls that I've done, all the DIYs that I've done, everywhere where I'm trying to save you a bit of money, that's where this lives. So I hope you like it. Check out the playlist. There's tons of stuff for you there already, Bestie.